If it's handled correctly, competition between NFL teammates can be a good thing. It's totally fine trying to push yourself harder than the other guy when it comes to a battle for the starting job, especially at the quarterback position. But sometimes these competitions don't end up being so friendly, and a hatred begins to brew between two QBs on the same team. Whether it was the competition or some other personal vendettas, these 10 former NFL quarterback teammates simply could not stand each other. Joe Montana and Steve Young.
Round one, fight!
Montana and Young. You won't find a better quarterback succession in NFL history than this. Montana was the face of the San Francisco 49ers for over a decade, leading the franchise to 4 Super Bowl championships. But an elbow injury sidelined Cool Joe for the entire 1991 season, leaving the 49ers no choice but to roll with Young. The lefty showed plenty of flashes in his 10 starts and led San Fran to a 10-win season, though they fell just short of making the playoffs. The 49ers continued with Young in 1992 and went on to win the first of 2 NFL MVP awards. Young's 49ers reached the NFC title game that year, but fell to the rival Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers decided to stick with the younger QB and traded Montana to the Kansas City Chiefs in '93. 5 years earlier, Montana told Sports Illustrated, "We're friends, Steve and I, but out on the practice field, if he doesn't hate me as much as I hate him, then there's something wrong." Both men were classy as could be during their time together, but Montana's quote pretty much summed it all up. The competition brought out the tension, and you know Montana took it personally when the 49ers chose Young over the established future Hall of Famer. But that's how the game goes. Both men wanted to be the face of the NFL's golden franchise at the time. In the end, 49ers fans certainly aren't complaining about the controversy. I mean, it certainly worked out nicely for them after all. Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Round two, fight!
The gunslinger still had several quality years of football left in him when the Green Bay Packers selected Aaron Rodgers 24th overall in 2005. It's just the Pack couldn't resist passing on A-Rod's talents, as many viewed him as the top prospect in that year's class. And so, Favre played 3 more years in Green Bay while trying to hold off Rodgers from stealing his job. Things boiled over in 2008 though, when Favre walked back on his retirement and sought a return to Green Bay. But Mike McCarthy and the Packers had had enough of Favre's retirement/unretirement games and were committed to building around Rodgers. As a result, the 3-time MVP was traded to the New York Jets. In 2019, Favre admitted that during their time together in Green Bay, he and Rodgers were strong enemies, citing the tense competitive nature. There was also a story about Rodgers infuriating Favre when he referred to the legend as Grandpa on one occasion. Also, Favre pulled a practice prank in which he got Rodgers to unknowingly autograph his own helmet. We are sure the rivalry heated up when Favre signed with the Minnesota Vikings in 2009. But the tension had since cooled down over the years, and both Favre and Rodgers haven't been shy in offering strong praise towards one another. It's just, competition can bring out some strong emotion in us sometimes. Roger Staubach and Clint Longley.
Round three, fight!
Roger the Dodger earned 6 Pro Bowl nods and led the Cowboys to 2 Super Bowl championships in the 70s. Longley, on the other hand, had a rather brief pro football career and is best known for 2 things. 1, leading Dallas to an improbable comeback win in their 1974 Thanksgiving game against Washington, and 2, his punching incident with Staubach. Folks gave Longley the nickname Mad Bomber due to his short temper. In a 1976 practice, Longley insulted Staubach's beloved teammate and receiver, Drew Pearson. This led to a physical brawl between Longley and Staubach, which the latter apparently won soundly. But 2 days later, Longley confronted Staubach and hit him with an unexpected sucker punch. Staubach went down into a set of weight scales, which ended up leaving a scar above his left eye. Rumor has it that Longley did this in order to facilitate a trade. Well, he got his wish, as America's team subsequently traded Longley to the San Diego Chargers. Ben Roethlisberger and Mason Rudolph.
Round four, fight!
To say that Ben Roethlisberger wasn't happy when the Pittsburgh Steelers took Mason Rudolph 76 overall would be a massive understatement. After the move, Roethlisberger admitted that he was surprised over the pick. Roethlisberger said that though it was nothing against Rudolph, I just don't know how backing up or being a 3rd string, well, who knows what he's going to fall on the depth chart, helps us win now. But, that's not my decision to make. That's on the coaches and the GM and the owner and those kind of things. If they think he can help our team, so be it, but I was a little surprised. Rudolph has not been shy in throwing some shade over at the two-time Super Bowl champion either. During the 2022 offseason, he took a big jab at Big Ben after being asked about mentoring 2022 first-round pick Kenny Pickett, suggesting he would be up for the challenge rather than being like someone else, which was clearly a shot at Roethlisberger's reluctance to mentor Rudolph. Yeah, you gotta think that Mason didn't shed a tear when Big Ben called it quits after the 2021 season. Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe.
Round 5, fight!
Bledsoe is supposed to be the longtime franchise face of the New England Patriots. The number one pick of the 1993 draft turned the Pats into an AFC heavyweight and led them to a Super Bowl 31 appearance. He only ever lost his starting job because of a freak injury against the New York Jets in Week 2 of the 2001 season. Bledsoe got hit by Mo Lewis while running out of bounds, and it caused a sheared blood vessel that nearly killed him. The Patriots had no choice but to roll with Brady. And, yeah, well, we know how that played out. Hall of Fame corner Ty Law shared a tale where TB12 actually showed up to practice and told the team that Bledsoe isn't getting his expletive job back. And, yeah, Brady was right. And Bledsoe was traded to the rival Buffalo Bills after the season. During a 2021 interview with Colin Cowherd, Bledsoe admitted that he's bothered that his career is merely treated as a footnote to Brady's. These two weren't exactly best friends during that history-changing season 2001. Peyton Manning and Brock Osweiler.
Round 6, fight!
Weeks after winning the 2012 Manning free agent sweepstakes, the Denver Broncos drafted Arizona State QB Brock Osweiler in round 2. Manning was 36 years of age at the time, so taking his successor made perfect sense. Osweiler finally got his chance to start in the second half of the 2015 season, when Manning was sidelined with plantar fasciitis. Osweiler won 4 of his 6 starts and had the Broncos on the cusp of clinching the AFC's top seed in Week 17. And then things swerved. Manning was cleared for Denver's Week 17 game against the San Diego Chargers, but head coach Gary Kubiak wanted to keep rolling with Osweiler. However, a plethora of Broncos turnovers prompted Kubiak to pull Osweiler in favor of Manning midway through the third quarter. Manning's return energized the Broncos' offense and the crowd. They narrowly pulled out a tight victory to clinch the top seed. One part that stood out from the game, Osweiler's bittersweet applause during Denver's go-ahead touchdown. Manning and the Broncos went on to win Super Bowl 50. The 4-time MVP announced his retirement after the season, but rather than take over as Denver's new long-term starting QB, Osweiler spurned the team to sign with the Houston Texans. The irony is that Osweiler wound up returning to the Broncos in 2017 when they became even more desperate for a quarterback. Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts.
Round 7, fight!
During the 2020 season, it was reported that Wentz was unhappy over the Philadelphia Eagles drafting Jalen Hurts in round 2. That should have motivated Wentz to return to his Pro Bowl form, but that never happened. Wentz's relationship with then head coach Doug Peterson was done for when he was benched in favor of Hurts late in the season. Wentz sought and received a trade in the ensuing offseason, getting sent to the Indianapolis Colts. Clearly, there was no going back when the Eagles gave up on the former franchise QB in favor of a rookie. Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Round 8, fight!
Brady himself won't admit it, but you just know that the Garoppolo saga in New England drove a wedge in his relationship with Bill Belichick. The Patriots drafted Garoppolo in the second round in 2014. Brady, of course, would lead New England to Super Bowl championships in the 2014 and 2016 seasons. And that put the planned Garoppolo era in Foxborough on hold. Belichick was reportedly preparing to move on from Brady at some point in 2017, but it's been said that Robert Kraft forced him to keep TB12 and trade Garoppolo. San Fran wound up acquiring Jimmy G for the low price of a second-round pick ahead of the 2017 trade deadline. When Brady heard about Belichick's plans to ditch him, it apparently fired him up more and led to the deterioration of their relationship. Robert Griffin III and Kirk Cousins.
Round 9, fight!
With a number 2 pick in the 2012 draft, Washington drafted Robert Griffin III. As insurance, they drafted Michigan State QB Kirk Cousins in round 4. That turned out to be a very wise call for Washington, because Griffin was unable to stay healthy after his thrilling rookie year. Behind the scenes, however, the relationship between the two 2012 draftees was apparently a rocky one. Washington played a game of musical chairs at QB over the 2013 and 2014 seasons before finally rolling with Cousins in 2015. Former Washington tight end Chris Cooley told ESPN 980 in a 2016 interview that the two QBs never hung out together, they never spent time together, their families don't hang out together. It was never a great relationship. Griffin also threw some shade in 2021 after Minnesota spent a second-round pick on Texas A&M QB Kellen Mond. Kellen Mond represents exactly what he doesn't do well. Cousins has been collecting checks there in Minnesota for a long time. Jeez, tell us how you really feel, Robert. Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson.
Round final. Fight!
The Baltimore Ravens were headed for a fourth straight non-playoff season in 2018. A mid-season hip injury forced Flacco out of the lineup, and the Ravens moved forward with rookie Lamar Jackson. Baltimore actually traded up to nab Jackson with a number 32 selection. His dynamite dual-threat abilities breathed new life into the Ravens' offense. Jackson won 6 of 7 starts and propelled Baltimore to the AFC North Division title, their first in 6 years. It turns out, though, that the Flacco-Jackson feud started well before the former lost his starting job. It was reported after the draft that Flacco didn't return Jackson's text messages, though this was never confirmed. When asked by a reporter if he had spoken to Flacco, Jackson said he had yet to get a chance to speak with the Super Bowl 47 MVP. If it makes Jackson feel better, Flacco said it wasn't his job to mentor Broncos quarterbacks following his trade there either. And after joining the Philadelphia Eagles in 2021, Flacco once again stated he wasn't there to be a mentor, in this case to Jalen Hurts. But which other NFL quarterback teammates hated each other? Join us in the comments section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.